Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger, a soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
When choosing a dentist for our family, Tupelo Smiles was the answer for us. They greet us with warm smiles right when we walk in the door, and they make us feel so welcome. We love Tupelo Smiles.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Friday evening, the weekend is here, and we are excited but anticipating a cold forecast heading into that weekend. And of course, we'll track the latest details here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and like I said, it's going to be a cold one ahead, but there is still some good in that forecast, and that's going to be occurring on our Saturday before that big time cool down takes place by Sunday. So let the cool down begin. Today, picture perfect forecast. Hopefully you got out there to enjoy it, but yeah, we'll start to downtrend just slightly into our Saturday, but that's not the only story Saturday. There will be some light showers Saturday afternoon, primarily into those evening hours for just a few of us. Not going to be widespread. Those chances remain very limited across North Mississippi, and what actually is produced is light, really a sprinkle or two as we head into those evening hours. But the extreme cold moves in by Sunday. We'll be looking at that here in just a moment on the 10 o'clock broadcast, because these are some of the coldest temperatures we've seen in quite a long time. Definitely the coldest temperatures of the season. And again, we'll break down that forecast a bit more in just a moment. Let's focus on the here and now, and that's the first 12. 11 p.m., 41 degrees, falling off into those overnight hours, but going to remain slightly above that freezing margin there in the mid 30s. But as the day goes on, low 50s do return by 11 a.m. still with those mostly clear skies. So this is going to be another, dare I say, picture perfect forecast, at least for the first half of the day. And then things start to trend in the wrong direction. And we're talking about that negative direction with those temperatures. 43 degrees in Caledonia right now, as you can see, with those mostly clear skies. Dew point still around 42. So cooling off, going to be a bit of a struggle overnight as that moisture is still in place. But both of those values we expect to start to drop as we get into our Saturday morning. Greenwood, 45 degrees, still dew points in the low 40s. But that's a great shot out there, showcasing that beautiful night sky. So hopefully, again, you guys are enjoying your Friday, got to get out earlier this evening to some parades, or if not, just get out on the town for those beautiful conditions. 41 degrees Pontotoc, dew point 37 degrees. There's that cooler air that we expect to move in, dropping those temperatures by our Saturday morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at Mississippi Live Weather Radar. And as you can see, it's been dry. But dry has really been the story for the past, 3 days now? So not tracking any rainfall in our forecast overnight, but that's been the usual pattern. Honestly, we could use some rainfall on Saturday, so we're almost embracing it at this point to A, keep our temperatures somewhat bearable, but B, give us what we need, those drought conditions still in place. So our Mississippi Live Weather Radar, dry today. That does start to shift for some areas heading into our forecast tomorrow. Satellite imagery, not a cloud in sight. If we look a little bit more up north, you can see that cloud coverage does increase. Definitely not like what they have in Wichita and Salina there in Kansas. That is Salina, Kansas native here, of course. But it is going to be a little bit more dense up there. Here in North Mississippi, we're just enjoying those dry and clear conditions.
Salina.
I was wondering if you're going to make an appearance off that one.
I'm trying to get the video. My video's
I tried to mention a Kansas town to get you to come over.
Okay, fine. I'll do this part, and you. So my video is rotating, and you know how to fix that.
I do.
Well, I'll finish this.
Okay, sweet.
Anyway, we're just gonna switch it around. We had our Christmas party here at Mississippi Live Weather this evening, and so anyway, we're a little behind on getting the video in from the parade in Saltillo. Hopefully, we'll have that for you here in a minute. But as he mentioned, you can see back there in the north and west. There's that front, and if we check out those temperatures behind it, it's just we're not to the ridiculous cold on this. But we're also not particularly pleasant. He mentioned Salina there. We'll put that on. St. Joseph's, Missouri up there. Beatrice, Nebraska, Grand Isle. And we'll actually see if we can slide it just slightly farther north to see that, because this really is, in a lot of ways, the big story, because we have purple. And you know where the true wintertime temperatures when the purple starts showing up. I had a friend in my first station used to say purple advection. Advection is when you have something kind of moving in. But look at these temperatures behind it. These are actual temperatures in the well below zero category. And Gabe's going to look at something that looks at the kind of extremeness, how extreme weather is. He'll have that coming up in a minute for you a little later on this broadcast. But look at these feels like temperatures. Wind chills are down 40 or more below zero. That is spilling southward. That is going to be a big issue for the Midwest, and we're on the south side of that. So thankfully things will not be as rough as they will be for some other locations. We'll bring it back in here a little bit closer into the southeastern United States. Again, front number one, slightly cooler. Notice the moisture though. Watching this stuff down there toward El Dorado, Arkansas, and down there into Louisiana. Just going to kind of clip it. This moisture is going to try to ride northward near-ish that front. Now notice not much early in the morning for tomorrow, but as clouds move northward, rain chances will get a little bit closer, and it becomes more likely that we'll have some chances for rainfall as we head through midday and into the afternoon. You can see the first of those showers there, Yazoo City back toward Greenville, Shelby by around noontime, and probably more lifting as we head there deeper in the afternoon. But this still remains very spotty, which is why the coverage of rainfall pretty limited when we check out the next 24 there. So 36, as you can see, at 6 a.m. or 42 by 9 a.m. There are those percentages. We look for meaningful moisture when putting the rainfall on there, meaning you'll sometimes have sprinkles, and we don't have percentage there. Meaningful rainfall, most likely as we head toward the evening. But even by 3 p.m., there will be some sprinkles out there. And with that first front already through 58, all we manage for high temperatures as we look into and through the day on your Saturday. But the real bitterly cold air is really not that far away. And we're talking wind chill temperatures that could be down somewhere in the neighborhood of, at least the single digits. Yeah. Big cold air. We're looking at more here from the Room to Room Weather Center as Mississippi Live weather continues right after this. Please stay with us. And again, thank you so much for supporting us here on the app, on Roku. And we'll be back right after this.
Can I ask a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog, but she's little.
Do you have any unlocked guns around the house?
We do have a gun, but it's stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access. Appreciate you asking.
Yeah, of course.
The bravest thing that my dad has done has been going back to school.
It wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
The bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. We knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Well, big shout out to our weather watchers out in the field, seeing a great sunset there in Tippah County. Shirley submitting this photo, and Shirley had several looks at this, so it was hard to pick a picture, but this one just doing that fiery sky justice, and we definitely enjoy a good sunset picture here at Mississippi Live Weather. If you have one, go ahead and submit it to the Mississippi Live Weather app, and we'll be happy to air that. And Caleb, heading into the weekend, he'll be happy to air that as well. He loves his weather watcher pictures. Make sure to give him a couple as you head through this weekend. Going to be a cold one though, and that's what we're tracking here in that extended forecast. But for tonight, pretty comfortable. 47 degrees in Clarksdale, 42 degrees for those feels-like values. That's those northerly winds pushing into the area and giving us that colder air with some wind chill into the low 40s as we get into those overnight hours. That's out in Clarksdale. As we take a look in the Tupelo area, 43 degrees right now, but already feeling in the upper 30s. This as that wind is pushing in, still that northerly component, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Big thank you to Mitchell Cunningham and Bowling for providing that shot out there. Great looking sky. And we continue to see those clear conditions overnight, not just in Lee County, but for the entirety of North Mississippi. And of course, Saltillo, the city of the night, the town of the night, as we get into our Friday night, because that was where our parade coverage took place. Matt was out there earlier tonight, got a great look at some of those parades happening across the area. We'll continue that coverage into next week and into our weekend as well, so we're going to keep that going. But yes, lots of parades happening. I do have that list. Matt, if you want to interject that list right in front of you on that sticky note.
Which one?
For parades happening tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Big Creek, Jumpertown, and Marietta. Big Creek at 6 o'clock, Jumpertown at 2 o'clock, and I think Marietta says 10. Would that be 10 a.m.?
10 a.m., so
hey,
bright and early.
hey, you know what? That's about the only way to guarantee it's going to be warm this weekend, right?
That's fair. Yeah, some of the warmest temperatures is what we're experiencing right now, because as those fronts roll on through that Matt was tracking a moment ago, that's really bringing in that cooler air. But tonight in Saltillo, as good of a forecast as you're going to get. So I hope you got to get out there if you were in northern Lee County tonight, because it was, again, a great forecast. Let's keep that forecast going. And of course, we're going to start with those temperatures. And as we work our way into this evening, we'll see some cooler air settle in. Big reason why. It's clear across North Mississippi. So I was talking to some folks this afternoon. Whenever there's a clear sky, that heat that's in the area, the heat that we had this afternoon, it allows for that to escape. So that's why we cool off a little bit more significantly heading into tomorrow morning. And then since it's clear skies, we get all that heat back when the sunshine pushes back in the forecast by the afternoon. So that's the pattern we're under right now, but that cool air already settling in. As we highlight a few towns in North Mississippi, you can see 44 Tupelo, same thing Oxford, 47 Greenwood, 45 Clarksdale, and 47 down around Starkville. So that cool air definitely settling in, going to transfer to some cold temperatures beyond that forecast. As you see, for our neighbors up north, Jackson, Tennessee, still going to be around those mid to upper 30s, 33 in Springfield, and 34 towards Bowling Green. So this is that cold air that's settling in behind front number 1. And that's the thing, we have front number 2, and that's going to be pushing in our Saturday forecast, but really going to feel those effects by Sunday. The one fortunate thing I will say with this forecast is it's not going to feel like Minneapolis. It's not going to be negative 1 degrees, I can assure you of that. But is it going to be a significant decrease in our temperatures? Yes. But again, that's all relative. So significant decrease in Mississippi is not the significant decrease that they're seeing in Minnesota. Praise God, because negative 1 degrees here, oh man, who knows what the world would be like. So day planner
Cold.
Cold. Point blank simple, cold.
Sorry.
Day planner for our forecast tonight, as you can see, those temperatures dropping into the mid-30s, but beyond that, warming back up into the afternoon, that 11 a.m. temperature beyond that 55-degree threshold. So it's going to be feeling, once again, pretty good across North Mississippi before that really cold air starts to settle in. So let's expand things out and walk through this forecast and see it in a little bit more detail. So as you can see, that front clearing out into those overnight hours, and Saturday morning going to start to feel some of that cooler air. But look at those winds. You can see those tails of those wind stream right there from the north. And those longer tails mean that it's a little bit more of those breezy conditions. So that's what we're going to be getting overnight, making those feels like values a little bit less than what those actual temperatures are. So wind chill going to be a factor for our Saturday morning. But as we get into those late night hours, still remaining dry, and that's the fortunate part. This first front driving all of that moisture towards our south and east away from us here in North Mississippi. So let's get into those morning temperatures. I hope you're not waking up at 6 a.m. on Saturday, but if you are, here's a look at what it will feel like. 32 degrees Holly Springs, 34 New Albany, and 35 around Tupelo. Down south, we're going to see those low 40s from Kosciuszko all the way to Aliceville, even for parts of the Mississippi Delta with 41 Belzona and 40 in Greenville. Now let's factor in that wind chill, and you can see some of those temperatures dropping back a few degrees, but where do you see the significant drop? Out in West Mississippi, 33 in Clarksdale. Let's go back to those actual temperatures. 36, so 36 dropping to 33, 34 dropping to 31 in Tunica, and for the rest of us, still feeling like the low to mid 30s north of Highway 82. South of there, not going to see as much of an effect from that wind chill, just because that's that front still working its way on through, so not going to be as strong of those gusts. But wouldn't be surprised if that dropped a degree or two. I changed this at 6 and forgot to change that at 10 o'clock. Guys, there's no school tomorrow. I don't know if anyone told you that, but I'll be the first.
And my kids don't go back to school till after the beginning of the new year. They're lucky like that.
Well, so they don't need a school bus forecast
Not
like
this time,
I just
at
gave
least.
them. But if you want to go drive a school bus tomorrow, then there's your forecast. But looking at your
Is that what people
futurecast-
do? Do a lot of people just choose to do that on Saturdays?
Usually something to pass time on Saturdays, and maybe
Didn't
it's cruising around the
Annalise
school
take
bus.
the test to do that?
She technically could take a school bus tomorrow. Maine or road trip. Not out of the question. I don't think that's what she wants to do, but she sees enough time at school during the week, so I think she wants a little bit of a break from,
I get that.
from school. But hey, I feel like it's everybody. Weekend, it's time for rest. Let's go ahead and get that rest, and especially Sunday. And once we get these effects from the front, you'll definitely want to be resting inside the house all day long. So Saturday morning, there's your secondary front starting to extend across Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, and into the Nashville area. That gradually building into North Mississippi, and then even colder air back behind it that we tracked a moment ago in Minnesota Minnesota and the Wisconsin area, that dipping far south. Again, not the negative temperatures, but that significant decrease. So 10:30 on your Saturday, still remaining right over the top of us. But this front, the positioning of it is going to be big for our forecast happening Saturday afternoon because it's driving out that moisture. So as it remains in the basically around Highway 6 and north, that's where it will reside by 1:30. As we get going into that mid to late afternoon, you can see some of those showers trying to get into the Kosciuszko, Atala County and Holmes County area, building towards Chula and Greenwood. That front driving a good bit of this moisture towards our south and east, but that's as that front builds through the area, so moisture is expected as this front does swing on through. But you look at the effects. Little impact. We might get a few hundredths of an inch with these showers. Further south though, better outputs with maybe a tenth of an inch, but even then that's not very high. So we're not forecasting an extreme rain situation, but definitely a few sprinkles expected as those showers work their way across North Mississippi. Again, the front is going to be the big part of this positioning because as that extends further south and east, pushes out that moisture well out of our area, and then those dry conditions move in place. But high temperatures Saturday, again, shaping up to be a good forecast right around our normal for this time of year, 58 in Tupelo, 60 in Bruce, 62 Grenada, and 62 around Starkville. Out west, we're talking mid to low 50s there up the Mississippi River, so it's looking pretty good. Another day to get outside and enjoy, especially before those brief isolated showers move in. Now Saturday, we heard the slate. We have a 10, we have a 2, and we have a 6. What's that forecast looking like? 46 degrees by 10, 59 by 2, and then 52 degrees by 6 p.m. That's a great temperature for a 6 o'clock parade. Only thing is you might have to deal with a few of those pop-up showers, but again, that's going to be little impact, so I wouldn't say rearrange plans, but may have to bring an umbrella just for a brief moment as those showers work their way on through. As we keep Futurecast going, you can see those showers do recede with that front, so by the time we get into our late Saturday night, drier conditions are already in place. But once again, I'm going to extend this out because I want you to see how this moisture just recedes south and escapes well off towards the Gulf. Just that blast of should I say colder? I was about to say cooler. That's underdoing it. Cold air pushing into the area, driving that moisture away and giving us that dry forecast and breezy conditions. This is what Matt was talking about with that wind chill.
Real quick, what's the temperature for low on Sunday morning?
Sunday morning is in the mid-teens.
Actual temperature mid-teens?
Yes.
You know what I find really interesting looking at this? Sometimes happens, it's going to sound silly. Occasionally, we can get lake effect snow for very small distances off of some of these lakes. I wouldn't at all be shocked for some early church if you live south of Bay Springs Lake, which is kind of a north-south lake there, you know, that extends toward the waterway, that you could have enough cold air, just the right spot, a few little flakes. We're not adding up to anything. It's not like lake effect snow up north. But sometimes, just looking at the output of this, it kind of looks like that sometimes does, where you have those streams of cloud there that the model's possibly picking up. So don't be shocked to see a flake early Sunday morning.
Well, that's exciting. Especially because it's...
You're not going to see it because you don't have a lake in the right spot.
Maybe we'll take our school bus up to Tishomingo County.
Yeah, you better not be running that on any roads like that.
No, but I mean, you're definitely right. That's not an impossibility whatsoever. And I mean, you look at those breezy conditions. We're talking about cold temperatures Sunday morning going to be in the mid to upper 20s. It's not unrealistic to talk about feels like values or those wind chill values into the low teens heading out the door Sunday morning for church. So again, I was talking to you guys at 5 o'clock. My dad is a pastor. He goes to church at 6 a.m. saying an extra prayer for him Sunday morning. But for all of our pastors around the area getting an early start, layer up, have an extra hot cup of coffee to accommodate for those cold conditions. And as we head into the rest of our morning, of course, those breezy conditions do stick around, and you'd think, well, hey, with all the clear skies, temperatures are going to climb, right? Not exactly. Those high temperatures not going to be anything too impressive, and those clear skies, yes, they'll dominate our area. If you can handle these cold conditions, definitely a day I recommend to head outside as high pressure remains overhead. But let's go ahead and look at those high temperatures for your Sunday, and trust me, you're going to be underwhelmed. Let's go ahead and look at that. So here we get a look. 36 degrees Houston, 34 degrees Water Valley, 31 New Albany, 30 in Booneville, 40 Columbus. That's our best case scenario. 41 Kosciuszko. Out west, not even getting above freezing Cleveland and Clarksdale. So when we say cold, we mean cold, and it's cold that lasts a good bit of time as well, into the afternoon hours. And then you really get that Arctic blast heading into your Monday morning as that cold air moves in place. So as we get a look at those temperatures, you can see high temperatures, basically out of frame by Sunday afternoon, but we saw that it is going to be in the low to mid 30s. Beyond that, 40 degrees Monday, and then gradually increasing into Thursday of next week. That's when our next round of chances for rainfall moves into place. But let's go ahead, before we talk about rain chances, let's look at that cold for our low temperatures. And again, it's going to be off screen. That's how low we're talking, with Monday going to be in the teens heading out the door. Sunday, 26 degrees. That's definitely nothing to move past. But then Tuesday, still in the mid-20s. So this 3-day stretch from Sunday morning into your Tuesday morning, I guess that'd be a 2-day stretch. We need to be aware, we need to be safe, and we need to stay warm, because this is definitely our extreme cold we're talking about. Drip pipe type forecast. We're going to work to get that out a little bit over the weekend, so you guys can discuss that a little bit more with meteorologist Caleb Edelblut. But that's our big story heading into this weekend, is just that extreme cold. We do have 20% chance of showers for our Saturday evening. That, again, limited and very light, so we're not going to see significant impacts, but it's not an impossibility to get a drop or two into that late evening forecast. And then our next weather maker moves in by Thursday as that next frontal system pushes in. Scattered showers expected, and that's where we're going to get our next best chance of rainfall. But I'm going to bring in our chief meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, here, because we do have a graphic that we debuted, I think, yesterday night, and it's what we call our beyond normal, meaning that normal average. And so
what we're looking at here,
I'll let you drag it out so we can kind of walk through
absolutely. So what we're looking at here is, how extreme is something, right? Like, everyone's like, oh, this is extreme. Okay, so extreme in Mississippi is different than extreme someplace else. There are parts of the country that get down to single digits all the time, and there are parts of the country that barely get into the 20s. So this allows us to kind of look at how extreme the weather is. Obviously, some cold out there now, and a lot of that up into Canada, but nothing that's ridiculously extreme. Well, this big batch of cold that we have coming out of Canada will be somewhat extreme as it builds toward us, as you could see, for Sunday into Monday. So we're looking at that cold air spilling south. And this is not saying that, the coldest is going to be toward Indianapolis. It's just that's where it's most above normal or beyond normal than where it should be. And I'm really below normal in either of those cases. So this kind of blue stretch, these are spots out here, Peoria, Illinois, Springfield, it'll be colder up toward Chicago than some of these spots. But for these locations here, we're 10 degrees below zero for the actual temperature, and wind chills that are more than 20 below zero in some of those spots. So in comparison to normal, where they do get cold, but they don't usually get that cold. Now you'll notice here for North Mississippi, the northern part of the state, we find ourselves again in that below normal category, but obviously not to as an extreme extent, because we get to the teens every single year for the most part. There have been very few years we haven't got into the teens. So we're going to be in the teens for morning lows as we look toward early Monday morning. As you can see, that extreme weather index does show, again, those temperatures kind of reaching their basement numbers for us, our most extreme sort of values, by early Monday morning. And typically we reach our coldest temperatures of the entire winter season at some point, usually in January. So a little earlier than usual, and certainly on that threshold there on the spectrum, fairly below, well below what we typically would expect. So this is kind of a graphic that gives us an idea. Is it cold, or is this unique in its coldest values? You can see by Tuesday, still cold, but not as unique. And looking in the extended forecast, that's not the case. It's actually the flip of that. Well above normal temperatures that we could be talking about for some spots. And again, the normal, what does normal mean? Normal's the 30-year average. So that's how that kind of plays into this here. So going back to that 7-day forecast, another thing I noted there, and then we're going to run that parade forecast, that parade video from earlier tonight that I had here. Again, he mentioned the dripping of the faucets by, sometime late Saturday night. We're talking 24 hours at least where we're below freezing. And with those teens out there, there will be some pipes on exterior walls that do freeze for early morning, Monday morning. So keep a little bit of drip coming through that. You'll definitely need to. I think it's not inconceivable that some folks don't go above the freezing point on Sunday. We go 33, that number, a few spots if we have any cloud cover at all. And again, maybe a few flakes initially there in the morning. Sometimes we get locked in a little more cloud cover than what this indicates, so we'll see how that plays out. But it wouldn't be impossible to not get to the freezing point on Sunday, and it never feels this warm because of the wind chill. But looking in next week, eventually rain, storm chances, and we're showing storms on there for next Thursday. Gabe, I want to bring you back in here for just a second. 48. Not exactly telling me I got a ton of moisture out there, or it's at least just in time moisture on this. We'll say non-zero severe weather chance, but it's been a while since we talked about that. But that, when we get mid-60s, it starts to...
It's funny you bring that up, because I was assessing it behind the scenes, and I'm thinking, I'm not saying severe, but you do
clearly just said the word.
Yeah, you're right. But it's a frontal system that's moving its way through, and usually that's that lifting mechanism that we need. And I was looking at dew points, low to mid 60s, but the thing with this note, because there is always a but with the forecast, that's one model. GFS, our American model, not showing anything. It's showing a few scattered showers.
GFS.
But Euro, which is one that we trust a little bit more, that's what has that frontal system pushing on through. So with dew points in the low to mid 60s, if severe weather were to occur, I would almost expect that to climb just a little bit. But that's something that we were looking at behind the scenes. And it's just funny that you're looking at that number and lining up with those rain chances, storm chances, and it caught your eye. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing earlier on tonight, but I was going to wait till we got a little bit more verification before.
So let's just break one of these out, right? I'm off the break. Well, let's do regional. There we are. And let's just look at the dew points there. So one of the cool things is our strike model here has gotten. Where did I drop it in? I dropped it in.
It's on the screen.
There we are. Okay, our strike model here has gotten kind of an update, and so we can go a little farther out on it than we could before. I'm gonna see if I can also. I mean, listen, it's late at night. Appreciate you staying up with us here as we just go Mississippi Live After Dark. Okay, so we need 168 hours, right? 168, that'd be a week.
Yes.
Our strike model now goes a week out. So we do have some. So first off, this is the effect, and this is where we immediately go, could we see storms? We have to overcome this. This front has so much cold air, just shoves moisture all the way down. I mean, even on this wider shot, the only reason there's that much moisture down there is there's a literal ocean. You know? So it's going to take a while for that moisture to come back. Monday, there's nothing. Tuesday, kind of, sort of. Wednesday, there it is. You can see early Wednesday. And then those dew points keep kind of coming northward into Thursday. And this one goes mid 50s there, but it also keeps us right there. There's early Friday. Maybe we have some 60s starting to get in here.
Again, this positioning of the setup could be a little bit different. This is one of those other long track models. So if we have GFS, Euro, and our strike model, all saying different things,
exactly.
It makes you have hesitation.
It's not a high-end event.
No.
And but I think you at least have enough grains there saying there could be some moisture around. Get a front, you know, this is what the dew point profile typically looks like a day or two before, you know, in the neighborhood of severe weather. So if this timing holds, and it very well might not, that's enough moisture that we'll have some chances there eventually. So as I try to remind folks who always want to know what's the likelihood of having a white Christmas, we're many, many more times likely to have tornadoes on Christmas than wintry weather. Well, and this pattern goes from really, really cold late this week and switches over to more likely to be stormy and extended.
Oh, and that's the thing is, someone said we moved to the south to escape the cold. Yeah, well, you moved to Mississippi. Mississippi gives you every type of weather.
Exactly. We replaced that with storm chances.
And what is Friday?
Huh?
Do you remember what Friday is?
No. What is Friday?
Let's test your ball knowledge.
Oh, it is. In Oxford. Man, the playoff game.
So we don't want the strike model to verify.
Oh, man. Well, we'll see. Be a fun time looking forward toward that.
First playoff game in Mississippi, we're going to make it rain, literally.
Oh, man. I'm telling you. Hey, be one for the record books, right?
For sure. For sure.
That's exciting.
See what happens.
Yep. So, hey, by the way, if you would like to, get our app, we don't always do Mississippi Live After Dark. Usually I'm working on paperwork at this time of night, but we're down here for the Christmas party. Thank you so much for supporting us. And that's one of the things we're just so thankful for this year. We were lucky enough to have the North Mississippi Storm Chasers here with us. And so many of you download that app free and available for iOS and Android. Before we go, I'm going to click over and get that. We got to do our video from Saltillo this evening. So this was my report, checking out the folks there at the Christmas parade.
Well, it was a beautiful night for a Christmas parade here in Saltillo. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon. We had the opportunity to catch all the different floats in the parade here, getting ready on what is thankfully a dry and fairly mild evenings, all things considered. You know, the Saltillo parade, typically they'll line up at the First Baptist Church and then work their way down Main Street, but due to a little construction there, things had to change slightly this year. So the weather's been great, but yes, as per a lot of times this year, we were able to find a little bit of snow out here at the parade itself. Again, very thankful to the good folks at MLM Clothiers for sponsoring all of our Christmas parade coverage. It's been able to allow us to go all around North Mississippi and check out the various parades. Of course, this one has been a lot of fun tonight as well. A lot of great floats, the schools getting involved, churches as well. So for, again, Mississippi Live Weather, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon. Hopefully you're having a wonderful Christmas season. We'll talk to you soon.
Well, thank you, Matt. Literally right here, but also thank you, past Matt, for the coverage at the Saltillo Christmas Parade. Again, a big thank you to MLM for partnering with us on this journey to see all the Christmas parades that we can get here in North Mississippi. Excited to keep that coverage going as long as those parades keep happening. It's been a great time and got to see a lot of you folks, and it's always a great time getting to see, all the viewers out in the field. So thank you for you guys coming up saying, hey, we'll continue doing that, and of course letting you folks know where we're headed next here at Mississippi Live Weather. I also want to say that one of our YouTube commenters saying, thank you for showing my beautiful sky picture here on Mississippi Live Weather. I'm sure a lot of you have some beautiful sky pictures, and you're keeping them to yourself and not sharing that love to the world. We need it here at Mississippi Live Weather. We want to show that off with our meteorologist Caleb Edelblue over the weekend, so make sure to give him some content and we will share that as it comes in. Of course, best way to do so is on the Mississippi Live Weather app. On that homepage, if you scroll down, just probably like 3 tabs, I think, it says Submit Pictures, and that's where you can submit some of your best content of the skies here in North Mississippi. And same thing with that. Christmas lights, Merry and Bright Christmas light promo going on for the month of December. If you have some great Christmas lights and want to see how it stacks up against the rest of North Mississippi, send that in and we will gladly use it here on our broadcast at 6 o'clock each day on Mississippi Live Weather. Our next broadcast is happening at, 6 p.m. on your Saturday evening, so make sure to tune in with Caleb to see the very latest on those cold temperatures, and he'll be back at 10 p.m. as well on your Saturday evening, and yeah, it's going to be a rough forecast whenever we're talking about those temperatures, so layer up, get those pipes ready, but enjoy what you have for Saturday before winter makes its mark. We'll see you guys back here at 6 o'clock on your Saturday. Until then, have a spectacular Saturday.
Hate is loud, but love is the majority.
I'm your retirement fear, but don't be scared. You're still in pre-retirement.
Does that mean I have more time to plan?
Precisely. This is pretirement.org.
This isn't scary. I'm doing it.